Welcome, my little pretties. Today we're doing a new episode of Shadow Tales. This is episode 11, and today I am going to be doing a retelling of the story called The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. Once upon a time, down an old farm, lived a duck family, and a mother duck had been laying on her clutch of eggs. One morning, the eggs hatched and popped out 6 chirpy ducklings, but one egg was a lot bigger than the rest. It didn't hatch, so the mother couldn't recall laying that 7th egg. How did it get there, she wondered. Tock, tock. The prisoner was still pecking inside the shelf. Did I count the eggs wrong? The mother duck wondered. Before she had time to think, the last egg finally hatched, and a strange-looking duckling with gray feathers that should have been yellowed gazed with worried at the mother. The ducklings grew quickly. The mother duck had a secret worry. I can't understand how this ugly duckling can be one of mine, she said to herself, shaking her head, but she looked at her last-born. Well, the gray duckling certainly wasn't pretty, but since he had ate far more than his brothers and sisters, he was outgrowing them. As the days went by, the poor ugly duckling became more and more unhappy. His brothers and sisters didn't want to play with them, so he was clumsy, and all the farmyard folks simply laughed at him. He felt very sad and lonely, while the mother duck did her best to console him. "My poor little duckling," she would say, "why are you so different from the others?" And the ugly duckling felt worse than ever. He secretly wept that night, and nobody wanted him, as he felt that no one loved him. "Nobody loves me. They all tease me. Why am I different from my brothers and sisters?" Then one day at sunrise, he ran from the farmyard. He stopped at the pond to question all the other birds. "Do you know any of the ducklings with gray feathers like me?" But everyone shook their heads in scorn. "Well, we don't know anyone as ugly as you," the ugly duckling said. He did not lose his heart, but however, he did make inquiries. He then went to another pond, where a pair of large geese gave him the same answer. What's more, they warned him, "Don't stay here, go away, it's dangerous. There's men with guns around." The duckling was so sorry he ever left the farmyard. Then one day his travels took him to an old woman's country house in the cottage. Thinking that it was a stray goose, she caught him. "I'll put this on the hutch. I hope it's a female and lays plenty of eggs," the old woman says, whose eyesight was very poor, but the ugly duckling had not laid a single egg. And the hen kept frightening him. "Just wait, if you don't lay those eggs, the old woman will wring your neck and pop you into the pot." And the cat chirped in, "Ha ha, I hope the woman cooks you, and then I can gnaw at your bones." The poor ugly duckling was more scared than ever when he lost his appetite, though the old woman kept stuffing him with food and grumbling, "If you don't lay any eggs, at least hurry up and get plump." "Oh dear me," moaned the now terrified duckling, "I'll die of fright first, and I did hope somebody would love me." Then one night, finding the hutch door ajar, the ugly duckling escaped, and once again he was alone. He fled as far away as he could, and at dawn, he found himself in a thick bed of reeds. "If nobody wants to see me, I'll hide here forever." There was plenty of food, and the duckling began to feel a little happier that he was lonely. One day at sunrise, he saw a flock of beautiful birds wing overhead, white and long slender necks, yellow beaks, and large wings. They were migrating to south. "If only I looked just like them for a day," the ugly duckling said admiringly. Winter eventually came, and the water had the reed bed froze. The poor duckling, left home to seek food in the snow, he dropped the exhausted to the ground. But the farmer found him and put him in his jacket pocket and took him inside the house. "I'll take you to see the children. They'll look after them. Poor thing, he's frozen." The duckling was showered with kindly care at the farmer's house. In his way, the ugly duckling was able to survive the bitter winter cold. However, by springtime he had grown so big the farmer decided, "I'll set him free by the pond." That was when the ugly duckling saw himself in the mirror. "Goodness, how I have changed! I hardly recognize myself." The flight of swans winged north again and glided down to the pond. When the duckling saw him and he realized that he was one of their kind, he soon made friends. "We're swans like you," they said warmly. "Where have you been hiding?" "It's a long story," replied the young swan, still astonished by their beauty. Now the swan magically with his fellow swan feathers, he swam with them, and one day he heard children on the riverbank exclaim, "Look at that young swan! He's the finest of them all!" as he almost burst with happiness. And he was no longer called an ugly duckling. He was called a swan. But one day, the mother duck with her ducklings had grown up to be big and strong ducks. The swan flew down, and the mother duck was surprised to see that the ugly duckling was turned into a swan. "Oh, my good dear," said the mother duck, "I'm so glad you came to visit." "I'm so glad to visit you too, mother," said the ugly duckling. And ever since he became a swan, he still visits his mother every now and then. And with that day forward, he was no longer called the ugly duckling. Well, my little pretties, that was The Ugly Duckling by Hans Christian Andersen. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like, hit the subscribe button down below, and ring the bell for notification, so you will get to know about when my newest uploads would be. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out. And also, don't forget to leave me your opinions on this fairy tale and let me know what you think of it. Adios, amigos.